James, thank you for joining me today and allowing me to interview you and just to learn more about your business, your experience, and what brought you here and got you to the spot that you're on now.
Oh, well, yeah. Thanks for coming over and getting started with me here. Well, my story started a long time ago when I was young. Just kind of remember looking out the window when I was in school and seeing guys mow grass and go, man, that would be awesome to work on a resort somewhere, or mow grass on a golf course. And just so happens my story lined me up with a golf course, and I got my start there at a golf course and was able to go to school at Rutgers, get a professional turf grass certificate, and then build a golf course and grow it in as a golf course superintendent. Did that for 3 years and became general manager of large timeshare resorts around the United States, and got a lot of great experience with all different aspects of the resort industry, including landscape and construction. And so that's kind of where I draw my background from over years and years and years of working with the resort development teams and the landscape teams, and then my background in golf course construction to kind of bring us here today. And after 24 years of working in the hospitality industry, I decided to come back home to my hometown here and start Revolution Landscapes and Construction.
Okay. Well, that's a wonderful intro, and it sounds like you have a long history of experience. I'm going to ask some questions and to follow up on some of these things.
Sure.
So you go from staring out a window to managing and installing a golf course. I'm going to need a few more steps along that journey.
Sure.
So you started working at, did I hear a timeshare place or something?
Well, I started really as a golf course mechanic.
Okay.
Back in 1993 at a local golf course that was in the final stages of construction. They had not opened yet, so I don't believe they'd opened yet. It's 30 years ago, so it's been a minute. But it's right there at the end of it. So got to kind of finish up with some of the last details on the construction on that course. Was hired as golf course superintendent, and then kind of worked my way up as to unofficial irrigation tech, spray tech, just whatever they needed done. I just really wanted to learn it all. Was very interested in it, and had a great superintendent that I worked with the first time, and then the second one taught me some different lessons as well. And I just kind of decided during that 5-year tenure from 93 to 98 that a couple years into it, that I really loved it and wanted to go to school for it, but had no idea how that was going to happen. I was making $6 an hour from a poor hillbilly from the Ozarks, and had graduated high school, done a couple years in the service, and had gotten out and was just trying to find my way. And luckily enough, it was an unfortunate event that I had purchased an old farmhouse, and it burnt down, and so kind of paid everything off that I owned. Was sitting there with some money in my hand, and really just needed to decide how that was going to change my life, because that's what needed to happen with it. So. Was accepted to Rutgers 2-year turfgrass program and paid my tuition up front for the 2 years. Went out, did the first year, came back, did an internship here, built a golf course hole, tee box, fairway, and the green complex for an individual business owner here in my hometown. And that was my intern project. Went back, finished my second year, and before I graduated that second year, then I was hired by a timeshare company here locally. They were one of the largest ones in the Southwest, and they hired me as golf course superintendent. Mm-hmm. So in 98, I started and built that golf course, helped finish design it actually, and then grew it all in. And for the first 3 years of my career, I was golf course superintendent. And then in 2001, I was promoted to general manager of that resort, and then went to a large resort down in Texas, one of the largest resorts we had down there for about 11 years, and then came back to Branson and finished up at a large resort there in Branson, and then decided to move back home and start Revolution Landscapes and Construction.
So you're taking all of this golf course experience and resort experience, which is very, very... high end.
Yes.
These are the things. These are the people that, have no budget, right? That is that is too big, and so they're really allowed to get the top tier of everything, whether it be a landscaping project or a bed or an entryway or a golf course. You've done very high end stuff for most of your career and on large scales. How are you applying that to the projects you're working on now? Are you mostly doing like commercial projects, like large scale company projects, things like that, or are you doing regular homeowners and things?
Well, we do both, and and yes, so that's quite honestly exactly what differentiates Revolution Landscapes and Construction from everybody else running around here. Is just I've operated at that elite level.
Yeah, because most people around, not to interrupt you, but most people around here, especially where we are now, is small, and they're mostly focused just on like the maintenance and mowing, stuff like that,
chucking a truck and your general lawn
Exactly.
care and that kind of thing. And I've been parts of projects working with resort development teams and contractors for years and years and years, from landscaping, golf course construction, all the way to the building timeshare resorts and the building aspect of it. So no, that's what I absolutely wanted to bring to not only my hometown of Farmington here, but also to the industry as a whole. There's several industries out there that are still just kind of frowned upon about, I won't say frowned upon, but they're just not respected by general society.
I'm a former trash man, so I'm quite aware.
As they should be. You've got your teachers, trash companies,
Right.
Your landscapers, your housekeepers. We could go on and on. And so I was just fortunate enough to be able to work through all of that and do every aspect of many of those jobs, not only on the landscape company, and golf course construction landscape company, but also in the resort industry and maintenance and construction. And then I've renovated. I've built 2 homes, renovated 3 others. Everything that we do, I've put my hands on and personally done over the years. And worked with people that specialize in those skills. But back to the original, kind of what we do a lot of and what differentiates us between the local competitors. You hear the term chucking a truck.
Right.
And that's great. I mean, I love to see people getting out there hustling, trying to make a living. But for me, really, I wanted to, again, elevate the industry here in this community. This town, this county is growing quickly, and I want to be a key player in really elevating the profession, building a new level of respect for that, and bringing in some interns and really just working with the local high school counselors and the college counselors. I'd love to see a horticulture program come back to our local community college, and just kind of just be part of that process. And I know I was fortunate enough to get to go to Rutgers, and that was an amazing experience. But the golf course construction and maintenance, and the having the theory and the education behind it, and then the practical application, and doing all the work myself as well. I mean, yes, I like to think that I'm pretty skilled. Am I a master of anything? I don't call myself that. I call myself a generalist. I think a lot of people do. But I do take pride in doing a job well. My grandfather told me, if you've got time to do a job twice, you got time to do it right the first time.
Right.
So I like. I'm a bit of a perfectionist. I like things to be done right, not necessarily my way, but right. I want the client to be happy. It's the ultimate goal. I want to be proud to put my name on that product. And what I love probably the most about what I do, no matter whether it was maintaining a golf course, running a major resort, or running Revolution Landscapes and Construction, is I love to see the transformation. I love to see people call us in. They not have a true idea what they want. They just basically want something to look beautiful, want it to be better than what they have, and then providing something that they just absolutely love at the end of. We're 5-star review on Google, and so I think that speaks a lot to the crew and how they perform their tasks from day to day.
Perfect. So who would you say is your idea customer here then, right? So is it, I guess you said that you do both commercial and residential clients and services and things like that. So, walk us through your ideal situation. How would it go from contact to finish? Let's walk through that.
Well, first and foremost, I like to think that I'm at the point of the spear. I like using technology, and so I have a fantastic program that we use. It's not only a lead generation, sales, and marketing tool, but it's also a CRM as well. And I use it for my estimating and invoicing. It's called the Lead Toolbox. It's a phenomenal product, and so that coupled with the AI integration that it has. So when someone calls the phone, it's instant text and emails back and forth with that client if I can't answer the phone. Or if they get on the website, they can do the chat feature that goes straight into the software. AI kicks in and starts communicating, sends out my calendar, can set appointments. Or they fill out the contact us form. So their information comes in, and then I'm able to quickly contact them and set an appointment if AI hasn't already, and get over to them and really discuss. When I get on site, I want to just listen, ask a few questions, and just really find out what that client wants, what their needs are. And a lot of times they don't know, and they're absolutely just asking for me to design something or come up with something, or what would I suggest. And that's when the 30 years of experience really kicks in, and not just at a residential level, but at a resort level. I was fortunate enough to work for two fantastic companies that really believed in letting me be CEO of my resort, and I ran very, very large resorts. And so I say that to say I had the ability to step in and really look at the big picture and come up with the plan, and then, of course, get approval on all key stakeholders on that, but then start the process of making that happen. So residentially, I'm very good at quickly saying, okay, well, here's some issues that I see. Your gutters are not tied into underground drains, and so they're washing this out, creating this problem you're calling me over here to fix. So let's fix the root issue that's creating the problems of why you called me to begin with. And then we'll design this retaining wall and this flower bed planting, or this raised bed gardens, or this pollinator garden, or native landscape garden, whatever it is that you want. So that's the big thing of, and how my day goes. Pretty much get the phone call, set the appointment, go over, help them devise a plan, and then I come back to the office, and I either work with one of my designers, or I do a lot of sketching myself and coming up a lot of designing myself, using plants that not only that the client likes and that they've mentioned, but what works well. Time and time again, I come and I see the wrong plant in the wrong place. Yep. And so most people, most companies, most landscapers, most homeowners, if they try to do a DIY project, they will plant what looks good now. So they don't necessarily pay attention to the growth habits or of that particular plant, or even, there's, especially right out of the gate, there's soil conditions. Like I do soil test all the time. If you manage the soil, it will take care of the plant. So I like to put the right plant in the right place and really talk to them about build out. And I think 90% of the people get it when I'm done. I'm very much about educating my clients. I'm not the guy that will go in there and take the money. The money will come. I kind of manage my team and my business, and whereas if I take care of the client and I take care of my team, that they'll take care of each other, and I will be taken care of in turn. So
Excuse me.
It's really just about making sure the client gets what they need long term, and not and fixing all the issues so that something else doesn't come up later where they call me back and say, well, why didn't you talk about this then? So I think all the knowledge I have, I'm really able to step in and very holistically and comprehensively come up with a design and solve all their problems, and give them something that when we're done with that project, we step away and it blows them away. They absolutely love it. And I find great joy in that. So
I think that's awesome. And that's, I've worked on a few projects myself, lawn care or landscaping projects. And what I have found, a lot of like what you talked about, is you kind of get called out a lot of times to fix a symptom, not the cause of the symptom.
Yeah.
And I think that's one of the things that is unique about you, is that you really take the time to educate the customer on what the root cause of this symptom is. Yeah. Let's solve that. Just solve the condition that we're here for permanently. And then let's give you what you actually want to be in this situation, what you want to see.
Yeah, and
let
me jump in quickly, because I want to add also that many, many times the client cannot afford right out of the gate the full thing. So we do a lot of phasing. And to your point, I'll come in and say, okay, they're like, here's what we can do. First and foremost, let's stop what's causing this. And we can phase that out in different sections, and so that they can plan on that. Many times it's not a one and done situation. It's hey, okay, here's what I see as a master plan, or the beginnings of a master plan.
Right.
Now, this is all during the initial consultation. I mean, I spend as much time as that client wants. But let's focus on this, to your point. Let's focus on what's going to, the symptom that's causing that erosion, that's keeping you from being able to grow this plant or do this or use this space or whatever it is.
Right.
Or let's think about, you say you want a patio here, but here's an issue that I see. Here's an elevation, or water's going to run, whatever that situation may be, and really kind of then say, okay, let's do phase 1. Next year we do phase 2. Next year we can do phase 3. Or if you can go quicker, call me back and we'll move faster. But yeah, I just want to educate them. I want them to be absolutely 1,000% satisfied with the product that we produce. And the knowledge that I'm giving them, and I'm not always right. Sometimes I make mistakes, but certainly I fact check myself. I think about what I've at the end of each day, you kind of reflect and make sure that you're trying to provide proper content, proper knowledge, and educate that client so that they come out at the other side of their project with everything that they needed.
Well. And it sounds perfect. Like with what you're doing with these homeowners, it seems like that's what's been lacking kind of in our area, is somebody that has a holistic approach to solutions and to these, problems that we face in our yards and our landscaping or whatever they may be, or in our gardens. And you're able to look at everything, put it together for them, and, do a couple of projects a year or one project a year until that is satisfied for that client.
Yeah, not just chase that money. Not just come in and go, I see dollars here.
Yeah, there's a project.
Here's a quick one. I can make a few grand here, or whatever it is. Yeah, because I want them to come back. I'm not going anywhere. I am here. I do not plan on moving again. I moved 9 times in 20 years, and so we're here. I plan on certainly being part of this community, and take pride in my family's name and my business name, and I want people to be happy and so I want them to know that I'm working for their best interest, and I treat their property as if it was mine or my grandmother's. I just want them to be happy. I was in hospitality for 30 years. I'm a people pleaser, right?
Yep.
I'm a servant leader. I feel the most joy and self-worth when I'm helping someone else.
Yeah, and I think that's a big lesson that I've personally found in my own journey, is that I really, like you said, I feel the best when I'm helping someone else.
Yep.
I love to help myself. Obviously, you have a business, you have entrepreneurs, you have to bring in clients, you have to make money.
Yep.
But when you can help, whereas I've transitioned now to mostly helping other businesses and other entrepreneurs. So, I get a big kickback out of helping you, right?
Yep.
That's what I like to do, and that's what I found, is that if I can help other businesses grow and succeed, I like to say that my goal is to increase carrying capacity, right? So if I'm coming in to your business to help out in some way, my goal is to increase 2 things inside of your business: your carrying capacity. How many employees can you support, right? How many customers can you support? I want to increase those 2 things, because if I increase the amount of employees that you can have and pay and support, that's the number of jobs that you've created. That's the impact you're having in the local community.
Certainly.
That's the business. That's the profitability for you. And then if we increase how many customers you can support, that's where we start to get more profitable, right?
Yep.
So it's how many customers can one employee support? Let's increase that number, and then let's increase the number of employees this business can support.
Yep.
If you do those 2 things, like, the business is on a path now for growth for as long as it wants to be, until it needs to shift or change direction and adjust from there. All right. Last thing I want to end with is, if somebody hears this and if they want to request Revolution Landscape service at their home or their business, how do they get a hold of you? How do they contact you?
Well, they can go to revolutionlandscapes.com. They can fill out the contact us form. They can jump on the chat, or they can call 573-366-0460. and we'll get right back with them.
Perfect. James, thank you so much for the interview today, and I hope to follow up with you soon and get some updates as you move through the summer.
Well, thank you. Appreciate it.
Thanks.
Been great.